Chapter 11. Never Did Run Smooth. Eterna City was a nice little town that was surprisingly and somewhat disturbingly grassless. There were a few trees around, particularly by the gym, and tiny clumps of grass by assorted buildings, but otherwise it seemed to be all pavement, rock, and dirt. Wasn't Eterna supposed to be the one with the grass gym? I decided to check out the Pokemon Center first, though. Not only for Des and Carlita, though. My arms still itched like crazy, and now they were crusted over with scabs and dried blood from my incessant scratching. I was convinced I had contracted some rare, probably fatal jungle disease from Eterna Forest. Maybe Nurse Joy would help me, though. She seemed to work miracles often enough.
Oh my goodness, your arms!
I had hardly gotten through the door before getting swept up in alarm, curiosity, and concern. It probably didn't help that I just picked off another scab and was plaintively dripping blood onto the carpet, looking lost, beat up, hungry, tired, confused, and just overall abused. A couple of the trainers stood up as Nurse Joy and her Chansey rushed me back towards the menacing healing machine. I wondered if it would be prudent to release my Pokemon and try to fight my way out of her iron grasp. Probably not. Her Chansey looked ready to rip my throat out if I bled anymore.
How did this happen? Did you do this to yourself?
Nurse Joy asked worriedly, pulling me through some swishing doors into a clean, stark white operating room. I blanched. I didn't want to get operated on. I figured a few bandages and I'd be good. This was going too far.
Wait, what are you doing?
I yelped, getting pushed down onto the metal table.
How did this happen?
Nurse Joy insisted, her Chansey tugging at my shirt. It was short-sleeved, which was how this had happened in the first place. From then on, I resolved to wear a long-sleeve shirt always.
I don't know. I just came from the forest. What's wrong with me?
I cried, panicking.
I thought it was some sort of disease. Am I gonna die? What are you doing?
My shirt was tugged off over my head with no ceremony whatsoever. Nurse Joy leaned in to examine my shoulders and chest, and after satisfying herself that my condition was confined to my arms, started studying them.
Chansey?
Chansey exclaimed. The pink Pokemon waddled over to my other side, peering at my other arm, poking it occasionally with soft, rubbery arms. It only made the itching worse, and I tugged one arm away from the human nurse to scratch at it. The Chansey and Nurse Joy were both appalled by this behavior, particularly because it only peeled another scab away.
What are you doing? Don't scratch, it's healing, or trying to.
She reached out to pull my arm away from the other, and she and the Chansey held them apart as they continued diagnosing me. For my part, I was reliving my life, seeing it flash before my eyes. How could I become the world's greatest trainer if I was going to die at the age of 11? I only had 2 Pokemon. There were so many things I hadn't done yet in life. 20 minutes later, a very relieved Nurse Joy dropped my arm and announced the verdict.
You're fine. It was just poison ivy and you scratched at it too much. Really?
I asked tearfully, rejoicing at getting my life back.
Yes, you're completely fine otherwise, though a little worn from travel.
She smiled brightly, adjusting her nurse's cap and dress.
And maybe a bit traumatized from the frisking we just gave you,
she added with a wink. I gulped and nodded. After securing a room at the Pokemon Center, which was actually aided by my bandaged arms and kicked Growlithe appearance, Nurse Joy and her aides took pity on me. I judged that there was enough sunlight out to try to track down the gym. Actually, it was only a little after noon, but after the Eterna Forest escapade, I wasn't going to take any chances. I was going to make sure I had plenty of time to get where I wanted. My mood plummeted when I found out that the gym was a short walk from the center, not even 5 minutes away. I didn't have an appointment, but I didn't care since walk-ins were usually welcome too, as long as no one else was battling. Even that, though, couldn't completely destroy my mood, because I had the advantage. Pedestal was a fire type, and I knew firsthand that his Ember was pretty strong. More than that, he was significantly over-leveled because of our time in the forest. And while Carlita was grass type like the gym, she was of an even higher level than Des, so I could always fall back on her. Standing in front of the gym, there was a young girl. I shuffled up behind her carefully, eyeing her. Was she the leader? No, probably not, because of her age and rather ragged appearance. She looked very much like a relatively new trainer, not the cocky, experienced leaders or elitists. She was looking rather hard at a Pokeball in her hand, as if it would give her some clue as to a great mystery of the universe. Hey, maybe it would. Sometimes I swear I could see some pretty weird things in Des's ball.
Is there a line?
I called out, standing a good 10 feet away. I couldn't help being wary of other trainers. So far, I had lost to one snotty kid, almost got caught up in a lover's spat between a couple more, was very nearly stolen from by another, and I'm pretty sure that last girl had given me my jungle disease. My track record with others wasn't faring too well.
Huh? Oh, no, there isn't,
the girl replied after a jump.
Not really.
Okay. What did not really mean? There either was or there wasn't.
Have you battled Gardenia yet?
I asked. I knew I had the advantage, but I knew better than to get too overconfident. That was what had led to me getting Carlita after all, and who knew what Gardenia would throw at me? She was a gym leader, and she couldn't have earned that title if she was a total pushover. She had grass types, yes, but she could also have mixtures. What if she had something I wasn't expecting, like a grass and flying type? Or a grass and ground? Or what if she had a grass and water type? That would completely nullify whatever type advantage Des had. In fact, it would work against him if she had even one Pokemon with even one water move. As I broke out into a cold sweat, the girl trainer answered.
I haven't. Not yet, anyway. I was about to.
My worrying and angst-filled inner thoughts suddenly doubled. Now I had no chance of getting some insider's information. I was going in blind, with nothing but the feeble hope that Gardenia wouldn't pull out anything nastier than a Badoo or two.
Well, you go in and good luck with that.
I turned and marched off stiffly. She could go in and battle Gardenia. Maybe I'd run into her later and she could tell me about it. At the very least, maybe she'd wear Gardenia down. I waited outside of the gym, half hidden by a bush. My knees were drawn up to my chest and I was shaking, thinking of the horror and glee-filled grins of Gardenia's water and grass-type Pokemon.